is to review and approve the minutes of July the 8th. If there are no additional or corrections to the minute, we'll entertain a motion to approve as written.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that item passes. Sergeant Knight, can you call the first item for me, please?
Yes, Madam Chair. Ordinance NIBIN Enforcement Support System.
Okay. State your name and come to the podium for me, please. Let me just read the ordinance. The ordinance in accordance with the Act 1969-916 of the Acts of Alabama, authorizing the mayor and the chief of police to execute NIBN Enforcement Support System, NESS agreement with the addendum for a period not to exceed 3 years between the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, known as ATF, and the city of Birmingham for its police department, BPD, to establish and define the roles and responsibilities of the parties related to ATS, NESS installation, operation, and administration for the dissemination of crime gun data to enhance the efforts of law enforcement to interrogate resources to reduce firearms violence, identify shooters and sources of crime guns, and refer them for prosecution. The use of the NESS system is provided to BPD without charge to the city. The chief of police is further authorized to execute all documents necessary to accomplish the purpose of the agreement. Who do we have before us?
Hello, thanks for having me. I'm Lieutenant Morton. I am currently the commander of the Robbery Homicide Division with Birmingham Police.
Okay, and you want to just expound some more on this ordinance for myself and Committee
Yep.
Member Williams?
Yes, ma'am. So NIBIN, which is the National Integrated Ballistic Information Network, is a system held by the ATF. And essentially what we do as BPD is when we collect shell casings and other type of firearms-related evidence, we take that in-house and we enter it into a system called Ballistic IQ and Ballistic Tracks. What that does is it puts specific shell casings in the system NIBIN, and those can be compared to other shell casings collected around the country that also use NIBIN. Additionally, what it allows us to do is if we have connections among our own shootings in Birmingham, it gives us leads to go on that. Also, what we can do with the information is if we recover a gun from a scene or anywhere, we test fire it, and we also enter that information into NIBIN so it can confirm whether shell casings collected from a scene belong to a gun that may or may not have been taken off an offender.
Okay. Council Williams, you have questions?
Yeah, how does this change what we're currently doing?
I don't see any change. We currently use this. I think this is just a re-up on the MOU.
Oh, gotcha.
And if I may, I just want to say that for your consideration, this is an invaluable tool that we have. We've used it multiple times to solve cases, gain leads on cases. Just as recent as the one we had in Eastlake Park, we recovered a firearm from what we believe to be the suspect vehicle. We test fired that according to our protocol, and it matched the shell casings that were recovered on the scene, as well as connected to another unsolved shooting that happened up in Vice Hills. That's just within the last 7 days.
Are we still having our beat officers pick up shell casings when a shot spotter goes off and there's shell casings?
Absolutely, yes, sir, and we get leads on those as well. In fact, there's a 2025 homicide that we're working that has led to another it was a discharging scene. And since those officers collected those shell casings on the discharging and then another location where it was a shot spotter, we were able to start putting all of those on a map. The ATF currently has a lady by the name of Shauna, who's also our NESS contact. She can do some link analysis charts for us as well. So I could go on for hours, to be quite honest with you, on how invaluable this tool is.
Okay.
I have a motion to approve.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that item passes the committee, and we'll send it to the council for a vote.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item is, item number 2 is a resolution pursuant to subsection 11-40-1, subsection 11-47-11, subsection 11-4355, and subsection 41-1651B9 Code of Alabama, authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Crime Stoppers in Metro Alabama, nonprofit corporation under which Crime Stoppers agrees to provide the city of Birmingham recurring advertising and promotion of resources of Birmingham Police Department via multiple media sources, including but not limited to such media sources as flyers, signs, webpage, social media, newspaper, radio, and television for the purpose of aiding BPD in the prevention and detection of crime activity. The term of the agreement shall not exceed 1 year and shall end on June the 30th, 2026. For said services, the city will pay Crime Stoppers a total sum not to exceed $100,000. Who do I have before me?
Good afternoon, committee. I am Keonta Bonner. I serve as the administrator to the Chief of Operations in the Office of Mayor Whiffen, and we're here today to present the Crime Stoppers of Metro Alabama requesting funding for their assistance with reducing crime in the city. And so I have here today Mr. Copas with their organization to address any questions you may have.
Okay. State your name. for the
Thank you. I'm
record,
Bob Copas. I'm the Executive Director of Crime Stoppers of Metro Alabama.
please. Okay. All right, you have questions for Mr. Copas? Mr. Williams?
Well, Bob, you've always done a great job. You've helped us. You know, we credit a lot of things, and sometimes y'all get the credit and sometimes y'all don't get the credit. But I really cannot speak enough about your leadership as well as your organization and the nexus that puts us when we're actually trying to put some people off the street that don't need to be on the street. My one question for you is that amount, the $100,000 amount, the amount you requested, and is the amount that you need to get the job done?
Yeah, you know, it's a significant increase, but what we've tried to do is to invert Crime Stoppers. It's not our Crime Stoppers program. It's your Crime Stoppers program. It's everybody who walks the streets of Birmingham, everybody in our community. You're the Crime Stoppers, we're not. And we're not here to put a lot of young men and women in jail. We're here to, what we thought about was stop crime. Let's see this crime reduce. Now, obviously you do that when you have a violent offender and you get them off the street, you hold them accountable. But what you really want is to see your community come together in a healthy way and promote good businesses, good schools, good communities. So our biggest challenge is reaching the public that needs to know the most. The most people that are going to know the most about a violent crime is going to be people from 18 to 25. You ask most of them what they think about Crime Stoppers, and they're going to say at the most is, I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it. They have to trust us. They have to really believe that you are anonymous, because you are. You have to really believe we will pay rewards, because we will. And most of all, that if you give us information, it will go directly to whatever investigating agency needs it that day. We've actually just found out we did that today. We received a tip today that went over to Birmingham, and it turns out it's going to be a significant tip. And we can only do that if somebody's willing to call us. And so the money is the actual social media of doing it. You know, people say, well, can you get a college student to do it? Can you get somebody to do it as a term paper or something? We need professional help in that area. And you're seeing that with our billboards, the big change in that. You're seeing us advertising. You know, we get some great experience or exposure through the news. But once again, that 18 to 25 group, they're not watching Fox 6 News or any of the regular legacy news media. They're getting all their information off of their phone. So we've got to get where they are, where they feel comfortable. Because 10 years from now, who's going to be the Crime Stoppers? Who's going to care about that? Who's going to want to, because we have shared values. Everybody in this room can agree, I want to live on a street where there ain't no drug dealers, where there ain't no gunshots going off at midnight, and my family members aren't in danger of being killed by violent crime. So we all share the same value. How we're going to get there is going to be the issue. So they're going to do it different than us, but we want to make sure that they hear that message that this is your community. You're going to have to take care of your community. And so that's where a lot of that is. And also is the increase of our rewards. You know, we're right now, we're at 117 approved rewards for this year. The vast majority of the work we do is in Birmingham. And we would like to see that go up even higher. We'd like to see it to the point to where the violent offenders have made their choice or where they need to be, and people are given the opportunity to not ever go down that line, and we can own it. Obviously, Crime Stoppers is not the answer to all the issues, but we can be at the front of saying, let's work together. Let's try to make this the best community it can be. And so that's really where it is. And I don't know if that's exactly how you wanted to hear it, but primarily
No,
it's an
Bob,
area of rewards and social media. I can talk all day long, so I'm gonna get out of the
You
way.
would make a great politician because you said a lot of things that make sense, but none of them answer my question.
Mm-hmm.
So, but, all right, so I'll leave it at that. Thank you for
Sure.
being here. For city staff, is this line item coming from the Birmingham Police Department budget, or is this coming from the general, other area of the general fund?
I'm personally unsure, but I will definitely find out and follow up with you. And let you
Yeah, I
know.
would appreciate that, because, I think that the police department has an adequate budget. I'm very happy to see the increase this year, because I think that that they've played an invaluable role on getting some people that we want off the street, that were causing harm to our residents. And so with the police department's budget being what it is this year, the police chief should feel that he has the flexibility to increase that, is my personal opinion.
So on page 5 of the document, it has the funding source. It's not coming from the police department budget. It's coming from boards and agencies. And there's a special designation for Crime Stoppers in there.
Now, Mr. Roberts, is there a reason we would not have that come directly as a contract from the police department doesn't sign with Crime Stoppers in Metro Alabama?
Yeah, that'd be a question for the mayor's office. I don't know the reason for the funding, but that was the funding that was submitted.
Yeah, it just seems like to me that the police chief should have the latitude to,
Well, the police chief's got a conflict because he serves on that board, so he can't be involved in any decision-making related to contract with Crime Stoppers.
and there's no.
Ethics law would prevent him from being involved in
So there wouldn't
getting
be
a contract for.
So there
What
would,
now?
but there would be a personnel on BPD if he recused himself that should be able to do that.
So, yeah, this contract did not come from the police department. This contract came from the mayor's office.
Yeah, and I guess my point is that's what I see as problematic. But anyway, I have a motion to approve.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you. That item passes to council.
Very much.
Public Safety Committee agenda, and we will send it to the full council for a vote. New and old business, seeing none.
Motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.